It is currently December 7th. I'm a little bit tipsy, and the year's almost over. And before I talk about the books I love, I really want to talk about the books I hated this year, because I am a born hater. So I have my Fable pulled out, and before I talk about the books that I DNF'd and hated, I want to talk about the books that I forced myself to finish, starting with Tinfoil Butterfly. This was on my list of books that I saw so many people hype up and love, and I wanted to love it so much because I saw some people review it and love it, and I don't know. Maybe because I had so many books before that were like 5 stars for me, but something about this book just did not hit. I just remember feeling disappointed and underwhelmed. Like, I remember watching videos of people reading this and being like, this is great, I love this. This book scared me, and I love this character, but like, the book wasn't scary. And like, I don't know, something about it reminded me too much of Gone to See the Riverman. I feel like a lot of it was for shock value, and I already predicted what was going to happen too fast, and I don't know. It was like a 2-star. I was just underwhelmed, and I don't know, disappointed. The next book on my list is Novel Love Story by Ashlyn Poston. I got this from a local bookstore that I love, and the girl who checked me out said this was one of her favorite books of the year, but the story didn't take me anywhere. Like, she ended up in the book world, and the boyfriend of the author of the book world was trapped there too. I don't know. The connection wasn't there for me, and I'm very picky for romances, but something about it, I just 100 pages in, I was like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? Like, I was just yawning the whole time. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I just could not get it. I didn't hate it. It's my only number 2. I didn't hate it, but I couldn't get into it. Like, I don't know. Next is a book I actually hated. Chaos by Luna Mason. This was book club pick for my book club, and I can't even begin to start for the feelings I had. When it first got me, I was sucked in. Like, fiance's brother? He was her brother or stepbrother. They were related in a way, and she didn't want to marry the dude, so she ran off with the other brother. They hooked up, and I was so locked in, because when I read romance, I love a trashy romance. But then, it got crazy. I don't know, maybe it's just me, and maybe it's expecting too much. I said I read a Wattpad romance, but there was literally a part where he was roofied, and then woke up next to a girl. And instead of using his brain to be like, oh, I don't remember doing this, I must have been drugged, he just instantly went, oh, I remember this, I cheated. And then his friends instantly went, oh, you cheated. He didn't even get a chance to explain, I remember this, so they could all be like, oh, maybe something happened. They just instantly went, he cheated, and then you tried to unalive. And it's just I don't know, maybe it was me and I put 2 and 2 together where I got 1 drink and then I woke up the next day and I don't remember anything. I'd be like, I didn't drink that much. I was probably roofied, but he just instantly went, I cheated. And it just ruined the vibe of the whole thing. And then I wasn't rooting for the relationship anymore because I was just angry. I was just like, how do you not realize this man was taking advantage of and assaulted, and all you're doing is abusing him, making him think he cheated? But obviously he's messed up because he was assaulted and he doesn't realize that. I don't know. It made me very angry. And that are my thoughts on it. Maybe someone else something different, but Chaos, I feel treated sexual assault against men in a way where we just have to blame the men for not remembering. And then when they finally explained, oh, he was drugged, it was just brushed off. And he was still made to feel bad for doing it. I don't know. It just made me very, very angry, and I was not a fan, and I gave it 2 stars. Next, going through my DNFs, I have God of Pain, the second book in the God of Legacy series. I loved God of Malice. Killian Carson was probably my top favorite book boyfriend of this year. But God of Pain, I just couldn't. First, I didn't really like, what's her name? The main girl. Didn't like her. She got on my nerves and got a malice. And so then I didn't like that she was the main beforehand. And I didn't like the main guy either. Both of them just got on my nerves. It was very much like two whiny kids. All of a sudden be like, oh, but I love you. And I think I DNF'd like 30% in just because they pissed me off so much. And it's one of those things where it's like, Rena is very hit or miss for me. I like maybe a handful of her books, but then the other handful, I'm like, there's no chemistry between them. And I think that's what got me God of Pain. There's no chemistry. I remember the main girl was obsessed with him, and he hated her, and then randomly switched up, and then like, they did the dirty, and all of a sudden he's like, I'm obsessed with you, and then I'm gonna kidnap you because your dad doesn't like me, and your brother doesn't like me. But it's like, I feel like we didn't have a lot of chemistry. And plus, she was annoying. She was so annoying. I don't know. It made me angry. I didn't finish it. But the same with, like, I think the only books I read God of Malice. Didn't read God of Pain. God of Wrath. I liked that one. That one was really good. Skip the rest. Went straight to God of Legacy. Legacy, whatever is the gay one. But then the rest I didn't like. And so Rena Kent was very hit or miss for me. She only knows how to write certain stories correctly. Not correctly, but in a way that I enjoy. And just, I don't know. I just did not care for the characters. And they made me very angry. They're very annoying. And I don't know. Something about the main girl in God. And I could go forever about God of Pain because this book just really just irritated me. They're both just so annoying. She's just an annoying pick-me who wants the men to be obsessed with her. And then he just like, I'm silent and brooding, but I'll hook up with you. But I won't because you're obsessed with me. But like, he doesn't hook up with anyone else. Maybe he does. Let me not put that out there because I did not finish the book. So maybe he does. But from what I know, he doesn't hook up with anyone else. And then he was obsessed over her, but then he's annoyed with her. It was just very much like, it wasn't an enjoyable way. They were just very annoying characters. And when I really think about it, and I'm like, in this moment, I'm really thinking about it, I think this is my least favorite book of the year. Like, it truly just annoyed me so much that I could not stand it. Like, maybe Chaos is a good second because that I could go up forever about the dumb decisions of that book. But I finished that book. I didn't finish this one. And this one just made me furious because they were so annoying. And it coming off of the high that I had from God of Wrath. Was it Wrath? Was it Wrath? What's the first book in the series? Give me 2 seconds. Because what was the first book in the series? God of Malice. I love God of Malice. Killian Carson was probably my top book boyfriend of the year. Because I was just obsessed with him to the point where I read it on my Kindle. And then my friend had the physical book and gave it to me. And I highlighted every section of the book that I loved because I loved it so much. Then to go to God of Pain, that sucked so horribly. And just pick the characters that I hated. Which I think, because God of Wrath is amazing. And then I freaking was for it. But then the next one was like, again, 2 characters I didn't give 2 shits about. And it was so boring that I didn't even start it. I went straight to God of Legacy, which was a top 5 book for me this year. And I think what frustrates me is that Rena Kent's so good when she's good. But then when she's bad, she's ass. She's horrible. So I don't know. If you loved God of Pain, good for you. But it frustrated me. It frustrated me so much. Next, I'm going to go on a little bit of tangent about Credence by Penelope Douglas. Now, like, if you know me, you know I love me some Penelope. Birthday Girl is probably, like, a top book this year. Probably one of my favorite books ever. I obsess over that. Credence, I have some thoughts. First, I love, let me not say I love the presents, because you know what I mean. I loved the idea of her having the stepdad, stepsiblings. Not so much as step-siblings, but the fact of an older man and then her getting together. Look, loved it. I have daddy issues. I want to talk about who she ended up with. So if you've not read Credence, bypass this part. I can't even remember the names, I hate it so much. I think she picked the wrong one. She should have ended up, in my opinion, with the uncle. Because they had, in my head, had the most chemistry. They had the most time together. And it's not really her uncle. They're not related by blood. She never knew him. So technically, he's just an older man she was hooking up with. But then she ended up with the mute one who was never around her. And then I think the only real connecting moment they had together was when she was having nightmares so he'd cuddle her. But literally not until they got together did she ever have like a good defining moment with him, and other than like moments where she was like, he's very quiet, let me calm down. And then she just randomly decides, oh, he cuddled me, so I should like be with him. So I'm already annoyed by that because I thought she picked the wrong one. But then, I don't know, maybe put two and two together. This pregnant girl comes up and is like, I'm pregnant with his baby. And he looks confused. But you want to believe her. And my thing is, if you're already not in a situation where you trust him, why are you choosing him when you could have the uncle who was throwing you back? I mean, even the brother. I don't know. I just got very frustrated with this book because, again, I love Penelope Douglas Down. Her and like T.J. Klune and Abby Jimenez are my three top like favorite authors of the year. But this book just frustrated me because she picked the wrong person for the girl to end up with. They had no chemistry whatsoever, in my opinion. She just threw them together. And I don't know. I just don't think that's the one she'd end up with. And I could be wrong, but I feel like it was just the wrong person to put her with. Again, as I just said, no chemistry. They never interacted together except for a couple times. And the few times she did see him, she saw him with another girl and said that's for him. And the one time she saw him, he tried to like instantly take advantage of her, which I guess could be something for someone, but I don't know. I feel like other than that moment when they first met each other, when he tried to take advantage, they didn't have chemistry, in my opinion. And I think she chose the wrong person. I think she only chose that person because it's an out-of-the-pocket twist. But I think it would be better. I think she, again, spoilers if you haven't read it, but I think she should have ended up with the uncle. Personally, I think they had the best connection. That could also be the daddy issues of me talking. I don't know. It frustrated me to no end to see her end up with who she ended up with. And truly, I'm slowly making my way through all of Penelope Douglas' books. But truly right now, I'm reading Five Brothers. Credence, forgive me, I'm a little tipsy. Credence is the bottom for me. But it's kind of hard to go through that because I don't think anyone would be dethroned Birthday Girl. I'll make another video later about that. And then I think the last book I'm going to finish this on would have to be probably Little Stranger. Only because, and here are my thoughts, because out of everything I've read, I think that's like the last one that I voted really low. I didn't really like City of Gods and Monsters, but I feel like I can't talk about that much because I did not finish it. It didn't really make me angry, I was just bored. But Little Stranger did make me angry. Because, and let me talk about this, everyone on Book Talk promoted this as something that was so like taboo, so crazy, and like, oh my god. And so we picked this for my book club. And let me preface that I only really got back into smut this year. I used to read smut years ago, but this year I got back into it because my book club reads it. So I was like, okay, it's fun. It's trash. I love trash. And so everyone pushed Little Stranger as like such a taboo book. And I don't know. To me, vanilla. I don't think any of it was that crazy. Truly, personally, maybe it's because I started with like The Ritual and The Sinner, which I love. Are they 10 out of 10 books? No, but they're good trash. And so maybe because I started with that Little Stranger did nothing to me. And I don't know, maybe the sequel, Little Liar, makes up for it, but I did not read it. Because Little Stranger just frustrated me. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know how to explain how it made me feel. But it was one of the things where I went in thinking it was super taboo, and it was just not anything that I hadn't already read. And maybe because I started so intensely with the ritual and then got a malice and then like intense smut. Because I read some intense smut right away because that's what my friends expected. Not expected, suggested. Again, forgive me, tipsy. But I just don't think Little Stranger pushed the taboo that I was expecting it was. And maybe it has like a not disappointment, like a disadvantage, because at the time I read Little Stranger, I was really into like intense age gaps because I just read Birthday Girl and then older, and so it was and then I was currently reading Chasing the Wild, so I was really into the older dude, younger girl. Daddy issues, forgive me. But I don't know. I guess people thought it was crazy. Like stepbrother, stepsister they're adopted brother, adopted sister. So not really related. This was already kind of taboo. But like, I don't know. And again, spoilers. But like, I think the most intense thing that's probably in this book is that their dad was on their deathbed and then they fucked on top of the dad. But even that, like, I was a little bit like, what are we doing? What are we doing? It wasn't like a taboo sexy. It was kind of just like, in my head, it was like, oh, we're doing this for shock value. Just like with like the whole screwdriver scene, I was like, this isn't like, for me personally, it wasn't like a, ooh, this is taboo, I like it. This was like, oh, you're writing this for shock value. And also like, I think my main thing is that the main girl kept bringing up, I'm your sister. I'm your sister. Like, it takes it out. It takes me out of the situation in that part. Like, if I'm reading something taboo, maybe I'll once mention, like, I'm too young for you. I'm like, oh, okay. Reading something taboo. But she kept, if I remember correctly, I don't have my Kindle anymore, so I can't even look. But if I remember correctly, she kept trying to bring the sister thing. And then, no, what it was, now I remember what it was that she kept bringing up that what they were doing was practice. She'd be like, we should do practice. It's time for practice. We should do practice. It was just, I don't know. It wasn't like in a cute taboo way. It was in a like, this is just weird that you keep bringing it up way. Like, if you're promoting a taboo romance, I want like one part to be like, oh, it's taboo. And then in my head, I'm like, oh, this taboo is fun for the rest of the time. But if you keep bringing it up, then it just throws me out of the fantasy. And I'm really picky about my smut. Okay? Personally, I'm picky about my smut. I want it at a good level where I'm like, I get trash, smut, and story all mixed into one. I want the story to be trashy enough, like I'm watching a reality TV show, to suck me in to enjoy the smut. That's where I'm at with it personally. And if you can't make your story trashy enough to suck me in, then what's the point of reading the smut? You know? And this story, for Little Stranger, maybe if people on Book Talk hadn't promoted me as so taboo, I'd like it more, but I was expecting more. But since I read this after I read The Ritual and then The Sinner, I was like, this is nothing. The Sinner is 10 times more intense than this. And so, I don't know. At the end of the day, I'm glad we picked it for book club, but all it did was make me angry. Like, my other two friends, I don't know if they finished, but they definitely started the second book, but I was just upset and angry. Like, what are we doing? This is taboo. And it just makes me feel like maybe I'm the crazy one. Maybe I'm the dirty one. Because why is this not affecting me? But, yeah. So, that's my thoughts. Hello, Stranger. And I have to stop now because I could go on forever. Anyway, those are my top hated books of the year, which I thought was the best. Probably because I was a little tipsy. It could have been worse. Truly, I am grateful that I read a lot more good books than I did bad books this year. I'll probably do more recordings of the bad book, not the bad, of the good books I read tomorrow, because I could talk forever about how great 2025 was for reading for me. But yeah, again, if you loved any of these books that I talked about, good for you. I'm glad you loved them. Just for me personally, thought they were terrible. But yeah, that's all I have to say. All right, bye.